Welcome to RSET Online. In this video, we will be continuing with the second part of Module 3. I am Lakshmi KS from Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. Contents of this lecture includes Bayes theorem, Bayesian classifier, maximum likelihood estimation, density functions and regression. Bayesian classifier is an algorithm for classifying multi-class datasets. It is based on Bayes theorem in probability theory. So the classifier is also known as naive-Bayes classifier. The word naive means simple, unsophisticated or primitive. Before going to Bayes theorem, we will explain what is conditional probability. The probability of occurrence of an event A, given that an event B has already occurred, is called the conditional probability of A given B, and it is denoted by P of A slash B. So the slash indicates A given B, and it is calculated as P of A intersection B divided by P of B, if P of B is not equal to 0. So that is the definition for conditional probability. Now coming to Bayes theorem, let A and B be any two events in a random experiment. And if P of A not equal to 0, then probability of B given A is equal to probability of A given B into probability of B divided by probability of A. A is called the proposition and B is called the evidence. P of A is called the prior probability of the proposition and P of B is called the prior probability of evidence. Prior probability of evidence. P of A given B is called posterior probability of A given B and P of B given A is called the likelihood of B given A. Now consider a set of patients coming for treatment in a certain clinic. Let capital A denote the event that a patient has liver disease and B the event that a patient is an alcoholic. It is known from experience that 10% of the patients entering the clinic have liver disease and 5% of the patients are alcoholics. Also, among those patients diagnosed with liver disease, 7% are alcoholics. Given that a patient is alcoholic, what is the probability that he will have liver disease? In the question, it is given that the probability that a patient has liver disease is 10%. Therefore, P of A is 10%, that is 0.1, and B denotes the event that the patient is alcoholic. From the question itself we can understand that probability of B is 5%, that is 0.05. Then probability of B given A is given in the question, that is 7%, 0.07. Then we can calculate probability of A given B, that is given that a patient is alcoholic, what is the probability that he will have the liver disease? That can be given by probability of A given B. Using the Bayes rule, probability of A given B is equal to probability of B given A into probability of A divided by probability of B. So substituting the values for P of B given A, P of A and P of B, the value of P of A given B is equal to 0.14. So that is the probability that a patient will have liver disease given that the patient is alcoholic. Naive-Bayes algorithm is based on two assumptions. First assumption is that all the features are independent and are unrelated to each other. presence or absence of a feature does not influence the presence or absence of any other feature. That is the first assumption. Second assumption is that the data has class conditional independence, which means that events are independent so long as they are conditioned on the same class value. These are the two assumptions behind Naive Bayes classifier or Naive Bayes algorithm. Now we will see what is Naive Bayes algorithm. Let capital D be a training set of tuples and their associated class labels. Each tuple is represented by x1, x2, etc. up to xn, depicting n measurements made on the tuple from n attributes a1, a2, etc. up to an. Suppose there are m classes c1, c2, etc. to cm. Given a tuple x, the classifier will predict that x belongs to the class having the highest posterior probability conditioned on x. That is, the Naive Bayesian classifier predicts that the tuple x belongs to the class Ci if and only if P of Ci given x is greater than P of Cj given x for 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to m, where I not equal to j. In order to predict the class label of x, P of x given Ci into P of Ci is evaluated for each class label Ci, and the classifier predicts that the class label of tuple x is class Ci if and only if P of x given Ci into P of Ci is greater than P of x given Cj into P of Cj for 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to m, where j not equal to I. Now we will see the working of a Naive Bayes classifier. Consider a training data set consisting of the fauna of the world. Each unit has three features named swim, fly, and crawl. Let the possible values of these features are: for swim, the values are fast, slow, and no, and for the feature fly, the values are long, short, rarely, and no, and for the feature crawl, the values are yes and no. So each unit needs to be classified either as an animal or bird or fish. So here we are given 12 training examples and their class labels also. The class labels are fish, animal, and bird. And now we are given a new instance, that is swim equal to slow, fly equal to rarely, and crawl equal to no. We can see that this particular training instance is not there in the given training data set. Therefore, we need to find the class label for this particular instance. We need to maximize P of x given Ci into P of Ci for I ranging from 1 to 3. Since there are three class labels, that is fish, animal, and bird, there are three class labels. So I ranges from 1 to 3, and we need to find the probability that maximizes P of x given Ci into P of Ci. P of Ci is the prior probability of each class that can be computed based on the training examples. So from the training example, we can see that probability of animal is equal to 5 by 12. That is, out of the 12 training examples, 5 training examples are having class label animal. Therefore, P of animal is 5 by 12. Similarly, P of bird is equal to 4 by 12 and P of fish is equal to 3 by 12. To compute P of x given Ci for I equal to 1 to 3, we compute the following conditional probabilities. The first one is P of swim equal to slow given class equal to animal, because we need to classify the instance swim equal to slow, fly equal to rarely, and crawl equal to no. Therefore, first we are considering swim equal to slow, and we need to find the number of tuples where the value for swim attribute is slow and the class label is animal. So out of the 5 instances where the class label is animal, 2 of the instances are having the value slow for swim attribute. Therefore, P of swim equal to slow given class equal to animal is 2 by 5. Similarly, P of swim equal to slow given class equal to bird is 0. And P of swim equal to slow given class equal to fish is 2 by 3. Now we need to compute the conditional probability for the next attribute fly with value rarely. So P of fly equal to rarely given class equal to animal is 1 by 5, and probability of fly equal to rarely given class equal to bird is 0, and probability of fly rarely given class equal to fish is also 0. And the next attribute is crawl, and probability of crawl equal to no given class equal to animal is 3 by 5, and probability of crawl equal to no given class equal to bird is 4 by 4, that's equal to 1, and probability of crawl equal to no given class equal to fish is 2 by 3. Using the probabilities that we have calculated in the previous step, we can compute the probability of x given class equal to animal, probability of x given class equal to bird, and probability of x given class equal to fish. So probability of x given class equal to animal is equal to probability of swim equal to slow given class equal to animal multiplied with probability of fly equal to rarely given class equal to animal multiplied by probability of crawl equal to no given class equal to animal multiplied with the probability of animal class. That's equal to 0.4 into 0.2 into 0.6 into 0.417. That's equal to 0.020. Similarly, we can compute the probability of x given class equal to bird and probability of x given class equal to fish. So, from the probability values we can see that the highest probability value is for class animal. Therefore, we assign the class label animal to the test instance. Next, we will discuss maximum likelihood estimation. What is maximum likelihood estimation? It's a method of estimating the parameters of a statistical model for a given set of observations, and it attempts to find the parameter values that maximize the likelihood function given the observations, and the resulting estimate is called a maximum likelihood estimate, and it is abbreviated as MLE. Suppose we have a random sample capital X which is equal to set of x1, x2, etc. up to xn taken from a probability distribution having the probability mass function or probability density function P of x given theta, where x denotes a value of the random variable and theta denotes the set of parameters that appear in the function. The likelihood of sample x is a function of the parameter theta and is defined as L theta is equal to P of x1 given theta multiplied by P of x2 given theta, etc. up to P of xn given theta. In maximum likelihood estimation, we find the value of theta that makes the value of likelihood function maximum. For computation convenience, we define the log likelihood function as the logarithm of the likelihood function. That is, L theta is equal to log of L theta, where small letter L theta is equal to P of x1 given theta into P of x2 given theta, etc. up to P of xn given theta. So substituting the value of L theta, and by using the logarithm rule, we can write capital L theta is equal to log of P of x1 given theta plus log of P of x2 given theta plus etc. up to log of P of xn given theta. Now we will see a special case of MLE method, that is by using Bernoulli density. In a Bernoulli distribution, there are two outcomes. An event occurs or it does not occur. If the event occurs, then the Bernoulli random variable x takes the value 1 with a probability p. And if the event does not occur, then the event has a probability of 1 minus p, and it is denoted by x taking the value 0. The probability function of x can be given by f of x given p is equal to p raised to x into 1 minus p whole raised to 1 minus x, where the values of x are 0 and 1. Consider a random sample x equal to x1, x2, etc. to xn, taken from a Bernoulli distribution with probability function f of x given p. The log likelihood function is LP, which is equal to log of f of x1 given p plus log of f of x2 given p, etc. up to log of f of xn given p. By substituting the value for f of x1 given p, we can write it as log of p raised to x1 into 1 minus p whole raised to 1 minus x1 plus log of p raised to x2 into 1 minus p whole raised to 1 minus x2, etc. up to log of p raised to xn into 1 minus p whole raised to 1 minus xn. Then we can evaluate it as x1 into log p plus 1 minus x1 into log of minus p plus x2 into log p plus 1 minus x2 into log 1 minus p, etc. up to xn log p 1 minus xn into log 1 minus p. To find the value of p that maximizes LP, we set up the equation dl by dp is equal to 0. That is derivative of L with respect to p. That should be set to 0. So by taking the derivative, we get x1 by p minus 1 minus x1 divided by 1 minus p plus x2 by p minus 1 minus x2 divided by 1 minus p, etc. up to xn by p minus 1 minus xn divided by 1 minus p is equated to 0. Solving this equation, we have the maximum likelihood estimate of p as p cap is equal to 1 by n into x1 plus x2, etc. up to xn. Next we will see what is regression. Regression analysis is a form of predictive modeling technique. It investigates the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. Dependent variable is also known as target variable, and independent variables are the predictor variables. And this technique is mainly used for forecasting, time series modeling, and finding the causal effect relationship between variables. For example, relationship between rash driving and number of road accidents created by a driver. So these type of relationships can be best studied using regression. In regression, we would like to write the numeric output y, that is the dependent variable, as a function of independent variables. We assume that output is the sum of a function fx of the input and some random error epsilon. So it can be denoted by y equal to fx plus epsilon, where epsilon is the error. Here the function fx is unknown, and we would like to approximate it by some estimator gx theta containing a set of parameters theta. We assume that the random error follows normal distribution with mean 0. Let x1, x2, etc. to xn be a random sample of observations of input variable x and y1, y2, etc. to yn the corresponding observed values of the output variable y. Using the assumption that the error epsilon follows normal distribution, we can apply the method of maximum likelihood estimation to estimate the values of parameter theta. And it can be shown that the values of theta which maximizes the likelihood function are the values of theta that minimizes the sum of squares, that is y1 minus x1 theta the whole square plus y2 minus dx2 theta the whole square, etc. up to yn minus dxn theta the whole square. The method of finding the value of theta that minimizes e theta is known as ordinary least square method. Now we will see the different types of regression. There are mainly 4 types of regression: simple linear regression, multiple regression, polynomial regression and logistic regression. We will see in detail about each of these different types of regression. What is linear regression? Linear regression establishes a relationship between a dependent variable y and one or more independent variables x using a best fit straight line. It's also known as regression line. So it should follow the equation y equal to mx plus c, where y is the dependent variable, x is the independent variable, m is the slope of the line and c is the intercept. Simple linear regression is the most widely known regression technique. It assumes that there is only one independent variable x. Therefore, the relationship between the independent variable x and the dependent variable y can be modeled in the form of a straight line. Then it will satisfy the equation y equal to alpha plus beta x, where alpha is the y-intercept and beta is the slope of the straight line. In order to determine the optimal estimates of alpha and beta, ordinary least square methods can be used. In the Euler's method, the values of y-intercept and slope are chosen such that they minimize the sum of the squared errors. That is, the sum of the squares of the vertical distance between the predicted y value and the actual y value should be minimum. Let y cap be the predicted value of yi. Then the sum of the squares of errors is given by the equation E equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n yi minus yi cap the whole square. Yi cap can be defined as alpha plus beta xi. Therefore, E is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n yi minus alpha plus beta xi, then the whole square of yi minus alpha plus beta xi. We are required to find the values of alpha and beta such that E is minimum, that is error should be minimum. Using method of calculus, we can show that the values of A and B, which are respectively the values of alpha and beta, for which E is minimum, can be obtained by solving the following equations, that is sigma I equal to 1 to n yi is equal to na plus b into sigma I equal to 1 to n xi, and sigma I equal to 1 to n xi yi is equal to a into sigma I equal to 1 to n xi plus b into sigma I equal to 1 to n xi square. Mean of x is denoted as x bar and it can be computed using the equation 1 by n sigma xi. Similarly, mean of y is y bar, that is equal to 1 by n sigma yi. Variance of x can be computed using the equation 1 by n minus 1 sigma xi minus x bar the whole square. And covariance of xy is equal to 1 by n minus 1 sigma xi minus x bar into yi minus y bar. Substituting the equations for variance and covariance in the previous equation, we will get the equation for B as covariance of xy divided by variance of x. and a is equal to y bar minus b into x bar. Next is polynomial regression. Let x be the independent predictor variable and y be the dependent variable. And assume that we have a set of observed values of x and y. A polynomial regression model defines the relationship between x and y by an equation in the form y equal to alpha naught plus alpha 1 x plus alpha 2 x square plus alpha 3 x cube etc. up to alpha k x raised to k. To determine the optimal values of the parameters alpha naught, alpha 1 etc. up to alpha k, the method of ordinary least squares is used. And the values of the parameters are those values that minimizes the sum of squares. That is, E is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n yi minus alpha naught plus alpha 1 x plus alpha 2 xi square plus etc. up to alpha k xik the whole square. So this term should be minimum. In order to get the optimal values of the parameters, we need to solve the set of equations such that dou E by dou alpha I is equal to 0 for I is equal to 0, 1, 2 etc. up to k. And let the values of the parameters which minimizes E be alpha I equal to ai, where I ranges from 0 to n. Then solving these equations, we will get a system of k plus 1 linear equations. These equations are of the form sigma yi is equal to alpha naught n plus alpha 1 sigma xi plus alpha sigma xi square etc. up to alpha k sigma xik, and sigma yi xi is equal to alpha naught sigma xi plus alpha 1 sigma xi square etc. up to alpha k sigma xi k plus 1 etc. to sigma yi xi equal to alpha naught sigma xik plus alpha 1 sigma xi k plus 1 etc. up to alpha k sigma xi 2k. Multiple linear regression model defines the relationship between n independent variables and the dependent variable by an equation of the form y equal to beta naught plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 etc. to beta n xn. So capital X is equal to 1 x1 1 x2 1 etc. up to xn1, and capital Y is equal to y1 y2 etc. up to yn, and capital B equal to beta naught beta 1 etc. up to beta n. That is, we can denote the independent variables, dependent variable and the parameters in the matrix form. Then it can be shown that regression coefficients can be given by B equal to inverse of x transpose into x multiplied with x transpose into y. Then we will get the regression coefficients not beta 1 etc. up to beta n. By this we have reached the end of module 3. If you have any doubts or clarifications needed in any topic, please contact me. Thank you.